All right, what's up, guys? Pretty big news coming out today that the 2025 Kubota High Limit Racing schedule has been released, and we're going to talk about it today on the Rodman Rundown and give you all the details and show you some of the new tracks and some of the returning tracks as well. And basically, I mean, this is a pretty big change. The beginning part of the year, as you could tell, based on the red writing, which is going to be new tracks that are on the schedule, the black writing are tracks that are returning to High Limit in 2025. The beginning part is very, very different from what we had in 2024. 2024, the year started off in Florida at East Bay Raceway Park, went to Georgia and Golden Isles, then made our way over to Texas, Arkansas, and Oklahoma. That is not the case anymore. We will be starting the year out at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway on March 13th and on March 15th. That is in conjunction with the NASCAR weekend over there, so expecting a pretty good crowd for those two nights to start the year off. And it makes a lot of sense. Las Vegas, high limit racing, the themes just go together very well. I think it is the perfect place for us to start the season off. Just makes a lot of sense. And, it's going to be, start off with a bang with the NASCAR weekend going on there as well. So a pretty big couple of days there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Then after that, we go to the West Coast. We go to California, and we go there for a few races, including on March 19th. So 4 days after the second race at Vegas, we go to Tulsa's Thunderbolt Raceway, which for the first 10 or so races is the only track that we went to last year. So Thunderbolt on March 19th. 2 nights later, we go to Bakersfield Speedway in Bakersfield, California. The Okie Bowl, as they call it down there. I am formerly from Bakersfield, so I feel like that is a pretty good track to go to. Not a lot of sprint car racing goes on around there, so I'm sure those guys will be excited to see some wing touring 410s down there in Bakersfield. Then a night later, we go to Paris Auto Speedway, the Pass, which is well known for non-wing sprint cars, but it's going to be great to see wing sprint cars back on the half mile there at the Pass, one of my favorite racetracks in the country, and so looking forward to getting over there as well. A week later, it's 2 nights in a row in Arizona. It is the Central Arizona Speedway located in Casa Grande. And so 2 nights, I don't know when the last time 410 wing sprint cars were there in Arizona, but that is going to be cool to get there and give those people a little bit of love down there. It's been a long time for Arizona to see some touring wing sprint cars. And so March 28th and 29th, that will once again happen. April 1st, we'll go to Vado Speedway Park in New Mexico. And on April 4th, the Route 66 Motor Speedway in Texas. This is not the same Route 66 that the World of Outlaws went to. They went to one in Illinois. This is the racetrack in Texas, so looking forward to getting a new track there. And then on April 5th, the Dodge City Raceway Park in Dodge City, Kansas, a great facility over there. And so 2 nights, Route 66 in Dodge City, April 4th and 5th. And then we get to some tracks that we were at last year. Well, not this one, April 30th, 25 days later after Dodge City, we go to Texarkana 67 Speedway. And that was on the schedule last year, but it did get rained out. So it's great to see that track back on the schedule and see a new track for me, a new track for all the guys at High Limit. It's going to be fun to get down there to Texarkana. May 1st, Texas Motor Speedway dirt track for the first of what will be 3 visits down there. Make that the first of 4 visits, because on May 3rd, we're back there as well. So a day between those 2 races there. That is also in conjunction with the NASCAR weekend there on May 1st and May 3rd. A week later, we go to 81 Speedway in Park City, Kansas, another track that was rained out last year, and so it makes it back on the schedule. 2 nights later, Lakeside Speedway in Kansas, and that will be the first of 3 visits to Lakeside. Then Tri-City Speedway in Illinois. That is going to be on May 10th. May 12th is Kokomo Speedway in Indiana. May 14th, Fremont Speedway makes it on the schedule in Ohio. So that was a big surprise to me to see Fremont make it onto the schedule. Obviously, they have a very, very good local scene at Fremont, and so we are looking forward to that one. That is a track where we could certainly see a big upset victory coming in from one of the local drivers. May 16th, we go back up to New York and all of the great fans up there. Ransomville Speedway in New York, and then May 17th, Utica Rome Speedway as well. So 2 relatively big racetracks up there, but we did see the turnout last year in New York, and there was a bunch of fans there, and so we expect those 2 races to be very well attended. And so New York people, get yourselves ready for High Limit, because we'll be back there on May 16th and May 17th. Then 3 days later, Grandview Speedway in Pennsylvania. Obviously, we know that place is very well attended to, and we know that the racing there is fantastic. So May 20th, we're going back to Grandview. Then 3 nights at the Port Royal Speedway for the Bob Weichert Memorial. Looking forward to that one as well, especially after the incredible race, the incredible storylines that happened there in 2024 with Danny Dietrich getting the win. May 30th, the Lawrenceburg Speedway is back on the schedule in Indiana. And one night later, Butler Motor Speedway in Quincy, Michigan is also on the schedule as well. And then a weekend that a lot of people are looking forward to, Wisconsin. Get yourselves ready on June 3rd and June 4th. The 141 Speedway and the Red Cedar Speedway will be the two stops in that state for High Limit next year. And before this schedule was released, I have never heard of either of these tracks, but after looking at some comments and looking at, different things like that, a lot of people are saying a lot of good things about both of these racetracks. So looking forward to getting to 141 and Red Cedar. June 10th, we're back at Eagle Raceway in Nebraska. And then on June 25th, it's the Lake Ozark Speedway in Missouri. So that is the first 30 races of the 2025 Kubota High Limit Racing schedule. Now I'm going to switch boards, and we'll talk about the second half of the schedule for next year. All right, guys, second half of the schedule now on the board. Races 31 to 61. Unfortunately, I don't have all of the magnets here for all the way up to 61, so I had to reuse numbers 1 through 30 here. But let's look at the second half of the schedule, and we kick that off with a doubleheader at the Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri. The best, in my opinion, the best facility in all of the country. We had some really, really good races there in 2024 with High Limit, so really looking forward to getting back there on June 27th and 28th. After that, I know there was a lot of people that were upset this year when Florence Speedway got rained out in Kentucky. Well, we made it up to you guys. You get two races in 2025, July 11th and 12th at Florence Speedway in Kentucky. Looking forward to another new track there. July 16th and 17th as part of the Kings Royal Week. It's the Double Down Duels and the Joker's Jackpot at Eldora Speedway in Ohio. And then the final race in the Midwest before High Limit makes its way back to the West Coast will take place at Lernerville Speedway in Sarver, Pennsylvania, Western PA there on July 22nd. And then out to the West Coast, we go back to Tulari's Thunderbolt Raceway in California on August 14th. And then the only to be determined scheduled race so far. We don't know what's going to happen as of right now on August 15th. I've got some ideas rolling around in my head. I've got a wish list that I hope does take place here for that particular date there on August 15th. We don't know what's going on there quite yet, but there are definitely a couple of options out there in California, that is for sure. August 16th, back to the Placerville Speedway in California as well. And then 3 nights for the 71st Gold Cup Race of Champions over at the Silver Dollar Speedway in Chico, California. And then a few nights later, we head back up to the great state of Oregon. And yes, it is back on the schedule, the Douglas County Dirt Track up there in Roseburg, Oregon. Looking forward to that one after a great race, number one, and a even better crowd up there from this year. So looking forward to Douglas County Dirt Track. 3 nights later, it is up to the Skagit Speedway in Alger, Washington for the Skagit Nationals, August 28th, 29th, and August 30th as well. And then after that, we go straight from Washington State all the way across the country to the Port Royal Speedway in Pennsylvania. It is the Tuscarora 50 weekend, September 4th, 5th, and 6th. So obviously we know that a lot of people are looking forward to that one. 3 nights there at Port Royal. And then a week later, we go back to Lernerville Speedway for 2 nights of action, September 12th and 13th. And then a week later, Eldora Speedway for 2 nights as well for the Four Crown Nationals as part of the, in conjunction there with the USAC, the 3 big USAC series, the Silver Crown, the Midgets, and the Sprint Cars. High Limit will be joining them on September 12th and 3rd, or make that September 19th and 20th. And then the only 2 new tracks, well, we don't know what the to be determined is quite yet, but the only 2 new tracks in the second half of the schedule on September 27th, the Bridgeport Speedway in New Jersey. That was on the first year of High Limit's schedule before it was a national tour, but I put it in the red writing because it is new compared to last year in 2024. Bridgeport is on the schedule in 2025. And a track that I know a million people were asking for. It was one of the most sought-after racetracks to be on the High Limit schedule next year, and it makes it on there. The Path Valley Speedway in Pennsylvania. High Limit Racing is going to be going there. I've heard so many great things about Path Valley. Has not gotten nearly enough 410 races over the last couple of years, And so a big one will be taking place there on September 28th, Path Valley Speedway in PA. October 10th and 11th, the final 2 races at Lakeside Speedway in Kansas. And then October 15th, we go back to Lucas Oil Speedway for the final race with that track. And then we finish out the year October 17th and 18th once again at the Texas Motor Speedway dirt track in Fort Worth. So that is races 31 to 61. That is the second half of the schedule. And as I did last year here on the YouTube channel, I would like to break down the schedule just a little bit more here, a little bit more in depth, as we've got all the numbers on the board here for those people that like to kind of dive in a little bit deeper into the schedule here. Luckily, we have that here for you. And so we've got all the numbers here. Half-mile racetracks next year, there are 7 of those. And on those 7 tracks, there will be 17 races, which equates to 27% of the schedule. 1/3 miles, 7 tracks, 8 races, 13% of the schedule. 4/10 mile ovals, 3 tracks, 10 races, and 16% of the schedule. Quarter miles, 6 tracks, 8 races, 13% of the schedule. And then the 3/8 miles is just as much of the schedule as the half miles. 12 tracks, 17 races, 27% of the schedule. And we do have one to be announced date, which is that one in California after, right before Placerville and right after Tulari's Thunderbolt. Now, I also want to talk about this as well. Races from Monday to Thursday. So races you would either call a midweek or, middle of the business week or whatever. There are 22 races going on from Monday to Thursday this year with High Limit. And we know that a lot of people are watching on Flow during those ones. So that's quite a bit of the schedule there. And then races from Friday to Sunday, there are 39 of those taking place on the weekend. We have 61 races total, 35 different racetracks, 13 new tracks compared to last year, 20 different states, and 219 days from March 13th at Las Vegas Motor Speedway's dirt track to October 18th at Texas Motor Speedway's dirt track. So 219 days there as we start in March, we end in October. And that is the 2025 High Limit Racing schedule. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. What tracks will you be making it to? I want to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Which tracks are you looking forward to the most on the schedule as well? Tell me all about it down in the comment section. Also hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. And for all the people watching home on Flow Racing as well, we appreciate your support and we will talk to you guys again here very, very soon.